In today's video, I'm going to show how to tie a jig. So, not really a fly. Depending on what kind of rod and reel you use, you could probably use them. But what I have is these. So they're 1/16 ounce, $10. Got 50 of them. I thought it was a good deal. You'll notice the little sort of nub right there. So these are actually meant for, to put like a rubber worm or a lure onto, and that little nub helps the lure from sliding off. So these aren't necessarily meant for fly tying, but it's what I got at the time. And I've used them and I like them. I'm fine with them. The other ones I have are these little ones. Whoop. So they are a 1/64 size 10 gold hook. I was given these, so I got a little jar of them. So the first one I'm going to do is the 1/16 ounce. And there's a couple different ways you can tie jigs. And I'm hoping that this focuses better. I don't know how to... There, that's focused. I'm basically changing my camera placement in hopes of having it focus more on what I'm tying versus having me in the shot as well. I know that was mentioned on a video or two, and which I understood. I just didn't have a way of doing it, and I've got a new setup now. So, okay, so I'm using red thread, 140 denier. For this first pattern, and then I've got a red marabou feather, and I'm just going to cut off the end there, and I'm just choosing a length, and so I come back basically to line up with the point of the hook, and then I tie on the marabou feather, several wraps and stuff, so it's good and on there. But like I said, I'm going to do a couple different patterns. The way I'm doing now is the most common, at least that I do, and they work great and everything. So from here, when you have the marabou feather on there, you can do a couple different options. You can take a pipe cleaner, which for this particular one I'm going to. I found these at Joann Fabrics, I believe is where this was, which they're going out of business. So between this and a lot of thread, I got really good deals. And then the other option is, of course, dubbing. And so I'm going to show you, the different ways on how to tie these. Actually, I already have one pulled out there and cut. I haven't figured out exactly like a correct length for these, and it'll vary on depending on which jig you use. But I'm gonna lay it to where it's almost like right behind the head there, and then I'm going to tie it very thoroughly all the way down right behind the head. And the reason I do several wraps and stuff with pipe cleaner, they have the wire in them, and if I start to bend and twist this, if it's not tight on there, it just shifts everything, which may happen anyway. But I'm going to wrap right there where the thread started for me holding down the marabou, and then have to get used to this. And then I just wrap it touching spirals, and so right about there, it's right behind the head, and then I use a multi-tool to cut it. Obviously you don't want to use your pair of scissors, especially your fly tying scissors, and then I'm going to wrap here, right, kind of let it slide off the head of the jig to push those little crystal fibers back, and then also a little bit back, so I'm making sure that I'm going on both sides of that wire to make sure that it's going to hold there. And this creates a collar there behind the head of the jig. I know, you know, maybe sometimes you want, you know, a collar there, maybe sometimes you don't. I don't mind it. Can't get it to sit right there on that wire, so I'm using a little bit more thread than I meant to. And then I'm just going to do a half hitch, second half hitch, and even just a third half hitch, just to make sure it's good and solid. I'll cut that away. But yeah, sometimes, you know, you want a collar, sometimes you don't, and you can make it however you want. There, I guess I have to sit up more. That'll, I think, make it focus. And then I do the Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails all around the collar, which then holds everything down and make sure it's not going anywhere. So in this example and stuff, I used red thread, so that works, you know, with the red marabou tail, and then the shiny in the center and stuff kind of breaks it up. But you know, sometimes maybe you want a different color for the collar, and that's up to you. You probably know the area, you know, where you fish and stuff, what's going to work best, what kind of colors. A jig like this will work great for bass, crappie, bluegill. And so there's ways that you can paint or powder coat, or, you know, these jig heads. I haven't on any of these. I've also bought jig heads that are already painted and stuff. But you know, for these, I haven't. They work just as fine. So, okay. So that was the first example. So the second one, let's do another one of these 1/16 ounce, and I'm going to use green thread, and this is a 6/0 thread. I don't know what the denier is, you know, and I'm just going off the packages as for the denier or 6/0 and all that. A bunch of what I have, as I mentioned in previous videos, you know, you see these wooden spools. This is 100% polyester, so I have no idea what that is, what denier. It works. I made sure of that before I started buying them, which here I'll show you. That's what it looks like when I got them from Hobby Lobby, or this specific one, Joann Fabrics. This is actually a really neat color. I haven't got to use it yet and stuff, but yeah, it's 200 yards of 100% polyester, and it's worked for me. So so for this one, I'm going to do a dubbing body. Toss that down. So what do we want to use? And let's do this one. I don't know what color this is. I know it lists all of them on the back. Electric blue, maybe. It's a blue, but it's got some green in it, sort of like a peacock curl. So, but then what I'm going to do for the end So I'm going to do some crystal flash instead of a marabou feather. So and what I've done is, well, I'm going to tie it on in the same spot that I did before, you know, right at the beginning or the point of the hook. So I'm going to tie that in, hangs off there, and then I'm going to pull that loop back, wrap those around there, and then take these scissors and there. So now there's 4 strands. So they're long, shiny. And then, so I'm gonna do something a little bit different. In several videos I've done a dubbing loop. I decided to try Burt's Beeswax. I know that there is specifically fly tying wax. My thought, which I didn't even look up the prices and stuff, I'm just going to run this up and down the thread. My thought was, you know, as soon as they specify that, you know, it's wax meant for fly tying, it's going to be more expensive. Kind of like when, you know, you put the word tactical on anything, all of a sudden it doubles in price. So I've done this once before, and so I take the dubbing material, and I'm gonna try and hold it still, and then just kind of twist it with my thumb and finger. So now it's up there, and I'm gonna loop it around. And it's not working as good as I wanted it, but it is working there. So I'm kind of manually manipulating it there. And right behind here, I'm going to do another collar. It's not necessary on this one. It's just, I want it. I like the look of them there. So, and I believe, you know, with the couple of loops I did over the top of the dubbing, it'll hold it down, and I can brush it out, and you can't even tell that that I took the thread over the top of it. So, and then 3 half hitches. And again, Sally Hansen's. Just along the collar where the half hitch is. And like there, you know, you get a little too much there. You know, you can always, after it's dry, you know, cut off maybe a thick piece or something that, you know, maybe doesn't look quite right, the glue strand. So I could cut these off shorter. I want them long. I think I'll give them a try like that, see how it does. And again, I'm doing shiny material with both those examples and stuff. You know, it's June at the time of, you know, me tying this and stuff, and it's you know, so it's summer, so it'll be good weather days, go places, you know, clear water and everything. So you want that brightness. Definitely attracts crappie. So there's those. I have another idea, and I'm actually going to use the larger size again, the 1/16 ounce, rather than the little one for this idea. The two I just showed you with the pipe cleaner and with the dubbing, those could be used on the 1/64 ounce. And I should have did the dubbing example on that. So for this one, let's use black, and this is 210 denier. This is just like what I have. It's not a specific pattern specific. I mean, you can use the 140, you can use the 6/0. It's just this is the black thread I had right here, able to show you all. Okay, so for this one, let me put that away. I'm actually not going to do like a tail off of it. What I will do is, so also got these. These are already striped pipe cleaners in different colors. This was also from Jo-Ann Fabrics. So for this one, I'm just going to put the pipe cleaner on it and tighten it down. So, and then I'm actually just going to cut it in half because it's kind of just long to try and work with there. So if you follow me on X, I actually did this, not this specific pattern, but I used the black and orange with a orange marabou off the back of it, and I called it the tiger jig. I've had to do this a few times. Sometimes it just doesn't bend right, and there's a kind of a sharp edge from where I cut it. So and this one purposely will have a collar. Okay, so it's black and white, and then I'm going to take rubber leg material. That you use for a bunch of stuff, hoppers, Pat's rubber legs, all that stuff. And what I'm going to do is try and untangle this. I'm going to make a loop there kind of at the head. And just kind of all the way around it. I forget how many, the first time I did this, I forget how many I used, how many I made. I'm going to put another one more. And So there we go. So I think it was some sort of a spinner bait and stuff that I saw and made me think of this. It was just like, I wonder, this would probably work, for a jig. And so, I have some here, bunch of legs there, and I'll do some half hitches. I haven't fished this yet. I just go over all these legs onto the collar. I haven't fished this yet, but I'm curious. I think it'll work. I think it'll catch something. It's sort of larger, but from personal experience, that ain't gonna stop a crappie. From trying to get it. Might stop a bluegill as big as it is, but I think it'd be perfect for bass. So, and my thread started to come undone, but that's fine. I'll just cut off that stray one here in a second when that's done. So, again, just one spot of glue there around the collar. So now I'm seeing the side that's on the camera, and that's a little bit more frayed than I thought. Smooth on this side, but I don't know what you'd call this. I haven't gave a name to it, and who knows, maybe it's already out there, something like that. Maybe I just haven't seen it. But yeah, so those are just different ways that you can tie a jig. If you buy jigs, or if you tie your own, what patterns or color combinations do you use, that work near you? Have you tried that rubber-legged one? Do you use pipe cleaner? All that stuff. I'm just curious what everybody does. So again, I thank you guys for watching. It means a lot to me and stuff. The likes and the comments. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. I've got, 2 fishing or fly tying related videos coming out each month, and then 2 book reviews videos coming out each month. And that's just the guaranteed ones and stuff. I've got other videos coming out on top of that and stuff. So really trying to get videos out there that I'm proud of and that I think people will like. So again, I thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.